Hey, this is Kelly with Kelly's Magical Realm, doing something a little different today. It's a true story that I just wrote. It's called Haunted Happenings, The Ghost of His Father, and Paranormal Experiences. I had a series of paranormal experiences that have happened to me this year, but it all happened almost a year ago. That's when it started. That is when this guy came back into my life. The odd thing is, the minute we started talking again, we noticed all of these similarities that we had. We're both earth signs, similar life experiences, and his brother having the same birthday as me. Then it became more than that. We noticed we would message each other at the same time with the exact word or sentence. Then there was times that we spoke the same things at the same time. And sometimes it was a whole sentence all at once. Then at times we would just know what the other one was thinking. It felt like it was an intense connection at the time, and we were drawn to each other. We had the same dream one time. I had dreams of him. Some would come true. He told me that he had a dream of me. I'm not sure if it was only once, but he did say he had a dream that scared him of me. He said he saw something bad happen to me. I then noticed that I could pick up on his feelings. Some days it was overwhelming. One time, I remember I was just crying out of nowhere. I was not even sad. And later that day, he said that he was upset. I also remember waking up in the middle of the night and feeling panic sometimes. I would message him and ask him if he was okay, and he would say no. I remember a few times talking to him, and I just knew the color of his shorts or the color of his socks that he was wearing. Then when we would hang out, things would get intense, especially at the beginning. When we first started hanging out, unexplainable things would happen. The television would just turn on by itself. We would look for the remote. It was always under the bed and right in the middle. I'll never forget the time when so many things happened all at once. First his television turned on, then it went off, then everything went off, one by one. His lights, our cell phones, air conditioning, it all turned off. It was like we were completely in the dark. I got chills all over me that night, and I definitely felt someone was there with us. I just felt this intense feeling. He always knew it was his dad. He told me that mainly his dad was coming around more when I was there. He told me one time his phone had flew across the room and he saw his dad that passed away one time. Another time we were talking on the phone, he told me that a plant in his room just fell over about 4 times. And he said he saw 1111 and 111 on the phone that day. Another time we were talking on the phone and he told me that I left one of my shirts at his house, and then he said my shirt moved from one end of the couch to the other. I laugh now when I think about talking to him about seeing angel numbers, because he didn't believe in angel numbers at first. The first night that we saw angel numbers, he was actually trying to tell me that you could look at your phone and see any number. This particular night, he went to put his phone in the kitchen to charge it. So we went in his room and we talked for hours. We had no idea what time it was, so he went out into the kitchen to look at his phone. It was exactly 11:11 p.m. After that day, it became a regular thing for us to see angel numbers. It was always 11:11 and 111. It was to the point where you could not deny it. We never really paid attention to the time when we were together, so when we saw the angel numbers, we knew it was a sign. The clock in my car was broken. I remember once we were driving and laughing, and then we stopped my car, and it was exactly 111, according to my clock. Another time I looked at my Facebook, and I had exactly 1111 friends, 1,111 friends, and his face and name was right next to the number. Or I would have 111 emails. It felt like things were trying to get our attention. We even had some similar health issues at one point. It was the same eye condition, and it was at the same time. One time he told me that he put a crystal that I gave him under his bed. He took a nap and he woke up to my crystal, kind of flying out and hitting the wall, and it startled him. Another time he was on his phone and he said he was on social media. Then all of a sudden, one of my YouTube videos about wolves popped up and my voice just started talking, and he could not explain how that happened. And just as I wrote that, I heard 2 knocks on my wall, which is strange because not too long ago we asked his dad to give us 2 knocks if it was him. I had different dreams of him. One time I had a dream of him falling, but I saw him falling in a bathroom, but he actually fell outside. It's strange, but sometimes that is what happens in my dreams. They do turn out a little bit different. I had a dream of his dad once. It was odd. He seemed like he was worried and trying to get a message through. I only remember him asking what the problem was with his son and I. It's kind of funny because I always wondered the same thing. His dad was acting like a counselor in the dream. He was in between the two of us, and he seemed as if he was trying to help. Then this guy ended up moving into my building, the guy that I've been talking to, that I've been talking about, actually, in this story. And when I went into his apartment, we still had the same strange things happen. Weird knocks, strange sounds, his socks falling off a shelf. I asked him one night if I could perform a seance to try to contact his dad. Maybe we could get some messages from him, and he agreed. I'm laughing because I'm just thinking back. My first seance I did is when I was 7. I tried to contact George Washington. And I think I got this idea because I would watch on TV, they would try to contact Houdini by doing a seance. So at the time, this recent time that we did a seance to try to contact his dad, we happened to be in my apartment and we heard 14 noises. He said 14 and it sounded about right to me. All of the noises sounded like knocks on a wall. It's funny that the number is 14. That's the day I was born. And then we went back to his place. But before I left my place, I told his dad he had to go back with him. And if there was any other ghost, they had to leave as well. So we got back to his place. And I said, let's try to ask again to talk to your dad. Because we did start hearing noises again. The minute I said, if this is, your father, then please knock twice if you have a message for him. Instantly, we heard 2 knocks as soon as I said that. Then it kept happening. I'm actually getting chills right now. The next day, he told me he felt like it was really overwhelming because now the knocks just keep happening all the time. And, well, I haven't had anything happen until today when I started writing this. Is when I noticed it happen again. But anyways, him and I parted ways now. I stopped talking to him because he was toxic and he kept treating me really badly, and I had to wake up to that fact that, he just kept doing the same things over and over, and I had to part ways with him. But I still do see him in my dreams sometimes. However, the dreams are different now. One night I had a dream I met a new guy, and it was my wedding day, and I was wondering what this other guy would have thought of me getting married and if he cared anymore. Another dream was me moving out of the apartment building that we're living in now, and that I'm, moving into this new place that I'm living in, and this guy's trying to find me, but he couldn't find me. But a really creepy thing just happened to me recently. I walked into a store, and it was just me and 3 other people, I think, were in the store. And the store owner kept teasing this little boy. The little boy was looking at mood rings, and the color of his mood ring meant love. All of a sudden, his sister kept calling his name, and she said it was time to go. It just so happened to be the name of the guy the story's about. Well, right as soon as they said his name, I walked out of the store, And then things just kind of took a really weird turn. So like I said, I left that store and I just kept walking, and I walked a few blocks away, and then I felt drawn to this other store. I went in there, and I'm standing in line at this store, and all of a sudden, did you hear that? There was a knock. Not on my door, it sounded like on the wall. All right. Anyways, okay, things are getting a little weird now. Yeah, just as I say, I haven't heard the knocks till I started writing the story. I'm hearing them again. So usually it's only when he's around. But anyways, so I went in the store, and all of a sudden, there's the little boy that was trying on mood rings, and he came right up to me. He looked right at me and said, "Look, it's her." He kept saying it over and over again. He kept telling his sister to look at me. He was even pulling on her arm, saying, look, it's the lady from the other store. And they kept calling his name once again, and it was the same name of the man the story's about. Isn't that crazy? And that's the end of my story.